something that you have already learned before. But we are going to make a review today, okay? And I want you to help me to complete some ideas about these two tenses, okay? So it says the present perfect and the present perfect continuous, okay? Let's start with the present perfect. Okay, so this is the present perfect tense. And first we are going to make a review of the structures of the things, elements that we use when we use the present perfect tense, okay? So I want you to tell me, do you remember the structure in the affirmative sentence? What is the structure? Yes.
Plus subject, plus have or has, plus a verb in participle.
Yes. Very good. So we need a subject. This subject could be any kind of personal pronoun. And remember, when we are talking about the third person, we need to change the auxiliary verb for has, right? Otherwise, we can use have. The verb in the past participle form and then the object of the complement of the sentence, right? For example, Americans have used microwave ovens since 1970s. Okay, then we have the negative sentence. What is the structure of the negative sentence? What do we need to change to make the sentence negative?
Haven't or hasn't.
Yes, exactly. The only thing we need to change is the auxiliary verb in the negative form, right? We can say have not, has not, or haven't or hasn't. And the rest of the structure is exactly the same, right? For example, we can say she hasn't used a microwave oven for 2 months. Then we have the question form. Okay, how do we change this to the question form?
We start with have or has, then the subject and the verb in past participle.
Yes, exactly. The only thing we have to do is to change the position of the auxiliary verb with the subject, right? So we can have or has, the subject, the verb in the past participle, and then the rest of the sentence. Could be an object or anything else. So here we have you cooked a cake in a microwave oven? Okay, so as you can see, we have the auxiliary verb first. Okay, now that we remember the structure of this tense, we are going to see the use, when to use this tense. Do you remember when do we use this present perfect tense? When we talk about what? When do we use it? Any ideas? When do we use the present perfect tense?
When the activity still happens.
What does it mean?
For example, it hasn't over yet. It is not finished yet.
Okay, so when an activity or something is started in the past, but continues until the present. Yes. When something started in the past and still happening in the present. Okay. Any other ideas? It is said that when we use the present perfect tense and the present perfect continuous, it connects the past with the present. And it is because sometimes when we are using the present perfect, the activity started in the past and continues until the present. Okay, so let's see here some of the uses. Okay, so it says for actions which happened in the past, but the exact time is not mentioned. This is one of the uses for the present perfect and one of the differences between the present perfect and the past simple. Okay, because the past simple and the present perfect both are used to talk about past actions or past events. But the difference is that when we use the past simple, we mention the exact time when something happened. For example, I watched that movie yesterday. Okay, so we are mentioning. But if I don't mention this, I can say I have watched that movie, but I am not mentioning the exact time when something happened. So this is one of the uses. So for example, I have already cooked in the microwave oven. As you can see in this sentence, we are not mentioning when this happened. Okay, we are just telling that something happened in the past, but not when. Okay, this is one of the uses. Then for actions which started in the past and continue up to the present, as your partner said. Okay, for example, Mary has had her new cell phone since September. So she bought her new cell phone on September, okay, in September, and she continues having this cell phone. Okay, so it's something that started in the past and continue up to the present. Okay. Then we have another one for actions that happen in the past and finished, but the results are obvious in the present. Sometimes we use the present perfect for something that finished, something that not continues until the present, but finish in the past, but the results of these actions are obvious in the present. For example, John has washed his car. He finished this action. Okay, for example, he did it in the afternoon or yesterday, something like this. It was in the past. But the result is obvious in the present because the car is clean. Okay, so in these kind of situations, we also can use the present perfect. Also, we use the present perfect for recently completed actions. For example, I've just finished dinner. Okay, generally we use just when we recently complete something. Okay, so we can also use the present perfect for recently completed actions. Okay, so these are the uses for the present perfect. I want you to give me an example of each one of these. Okay, and then we are going to listen to your ideas. Think about an example for each one of these situations, and then we can listen to your examples, okay? I'm going to give you a minute so you can think, and then you can share. Okay, let's start with the first one. It says for actions which happen in the past, but the exact time is not mentioned. Do you have any example? You can raise your hand if you have an example about the first one. Any ideas? Ingrid, please.
I have finished the second semester at university.
Okay, thank you. Melanie?
I have already fed my cat.
Again, please.
I have already fed my cat.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? What about Hugo, please?
I have read The Hunger Games.
Okay, thank you. What about the second one? For actions which started in the past and continues up to the present. What can you say here?
I have lived in my house since 2000.
Okay, I have
Since 2000. It's okay.
since. Yes,
Since
I
okay.
have lived in my house since 2000. Okay, good. Anybody else?
Nicole has been in the university.
Mm-hmm.
is that
Okay, Nicole has been.
in the university.
Okay, but it's a little bit incomplete. Ella ha estado en la universidad desde por tanto
Since,
tiempo.
but teacher, this sentence is an example of the second form, and it's wrong.
Again, please.
My example is about the second form,
Ujú.
but it is incomplete.
But if you say ella ha estado en la universidad, ¿está
Mm.
completo?
En- es que creo que si le pongo una fecha ya no sería algo que ha pasado y que continúa pasando.
Sí, sí, porque si usted le pone she had been at the university since last year. Entonces, el año pasado empezó y continúa ahora en la universidad,
Ok.
¿cierto? Okay. Any other? Let's see. Geldy, please.
I have my new computer since last year.
Okay, Luciana.
My father has a dog since 2013.
Okay, thank you. So, this one, number 3, for actions that happened in the past and finished, but the results are obvious in the present. Do you have any examples for this one? Any ideas? Geldy?
My dog has ate its food.
Has eaten.
Eaten, yes. Its food.
Yes, he's full now, right? Yes. Anybody else?
Maybe my father and I have painted my house.
Very good. Now the house is painted, right?
Yes,
Hugo?
yes.
Well, I have done the dishes.
Okay. Good. And then we have for recently completed actions. What can you say for recently completed actions? Ingrid?
I've just finished my homework.
I just finished my homework. Yes. Hugo?
I've learned how to be more efficient.
Okay. Pero esa sería como en la primera, ¿cierto? I've learned, he aprendido cómo ser eficiente. Lo mencionamos cuando lo aprendió, ¿cierto? Recuerde que cuando algo acaba de terminar, generalmente utilizamos el just. I've just done my homework, or I've just washed the dishes. Okay, or I've just sent the message. Okay, so, okay, let's go to the present perfect continuous, okay? So, I forgot about this. These are some time expressions that we can use with the present perfect tense. As you can see, some words that are normally found in these kind of sentences. Just, yet, already, ever, never, before, always, how long, for, since, recently, lately, once, twice, or so far. Okay, so these are some of the expressions that you can find in these kind of sentences. Okay, sometimes you can identify the present perfect or present perfect continuous because of the expressions. Okay, so pay attention to these words. Okay, let's go now to the present perfect continuous. And here we are going to remember also to the structure that we use for affirmative sentences. What are the structures we use for affirmative sentences? Any ideas?
Subject.
Mhm.
Subject plus have or has plus been plus the verb in ing and the complement.
Yes, exactly right. We need the subject, have or has, been, and a verb with the ing form, right? So don't forget been, always been when you are using the present perfect continuous. And then after being, a verb with the ing form, right? Here we have an example. Americas have been using microwave ovens since the 1970s. Okay. Then we are going to check the uses of this. Then we have here the negative sentence. The only thing we have to do for the negative sentence is to change the auxiliary verb, right, to the negative form. So we can say have no or has no, has not or have not, or haven't or hasn't, right? Exactly the same structure. She hasn't been using a microwave oven for 2 months. Okay. Then we have questions here. We change the position of the subject and the auxiliary verb. We have or has plus the subject, been, the verb ing in the ing form, and the object. Have you been cooking in the microwave oven? Okay, so exactly the same structures, right? Okay, now we are going to check the uses of this perfect, present perfect continuous tense. Okay, so we generally use this tense to emphasize the duration of a state or action which is started, here we have started in the past and continues up to the present, okay? So, started in the past and continues up to the present. For example, I have been taking online courses since the quarantine began. Okay, so in this sentence, we are emphasizing the duration of the action. Then we have for actions which happen over a period of time in the past and may have finished, but the results are obvious in the present. Okay, so this action happened for a period of time in the past. For example, Mary has been walking around all day. That's why she's so tired. As you can see, this is something that happened for a period of time, for all day. Okay? Here we have the result in the present. Okay? She is so tired now. To show annoyance resulting from a recent action. For example, who has been wearing my jacket? Okay, so this is another situation in which we can use the present perfect continuous. Okay, can you give me an example for each one of these? Okay, I want you to tell me one that emphasizes the duration of an action. Another one who finished, but the results are obvious in the present. But remember that you have to do this action for a period of time in the past. And something that shows annoyance. Okay, I'm going to give you some minutes so you can think about this, and then you can give me your ideas. Let's listen to your ideas. Let's go with the first one, to emphasize the duration of a state or action which started in the past and continues up to the present. Alejandra.
I have been working in my final presentation of my career since last year.
Okay. Ingrid?
I have been waiting for you for almost 3 hours.
Good. Okay, let's go with Luciana.
My sister has been cooking for COVID patients.
Yes, has been cooking. Melissa?
I have been studying English since 2017.
Okay, yes. I have been studying, right? Okay, Daniela Siles?
I have been gaining weight since the quarantine began.
Okay, yes, me too. Let's go with Nicole.
I have been dating with Carlos since the last carnival.
Since last carnival, yes. Let's go with Flor.
I have been studying English since February.
Okay. Jerry?
She has been studying for her test since last week.
Okay. Hugo, please.
I have been waiting this game release since it was announced.
Okay, very good. Let's go to the second one. For actions which happened over a period of time in the past and may have finished or may have finished, but the results are obvious in the present. Luciana, please.
I have been dancing all night.
Again, please.
I have been dancing all night.
All night, okay. And what is the result? What could be the result?
The result, I'm very tired.
Okay, you are tired. Let's go with Nicole.
She has been exercising all summer. That's why she is in shape.
Very good. Ingrid?
Luisa has been cleaning the house in the morning. Now it looks so clean.
Okay, very good. Okay. And the last one, to show annoyance resulting for a recent action. Any ideas? For something that happened recently and you don't like? Ingrid?
Why you have been using my computer without my permission?
Okay. Daniela?
Who has been using my internet connection?
Okay, yes, very good. Okay, good. So here we have some time expressions that can be useful. When you are recognizing this tense, the present perfect continuous, okay? We can use how long, for, since, all day, all week, for example, all year, or any other period of time, okay? So let's practice this here in your book, okay? Here you have something similar. We are going to read the grammar panel here. It says present perfect and present perfect continuous tenses. The present perfect and the present continuous tenses can be used interchangeably to talk about an activity that continues into the present. They frequently occur with the expressions since and for, with the adverbs lately or recently and recently. For example, here we have Americans have used microwave ovens for a long time. Americans have been using microwave ovens since the 1970s. As you can see here, we have two time expressions that are very common to find in these tenses, for and since, right? Then we have here, my parents haven't used their microwave lately. This is another expression. My parents haven't been using the microwave recently. Here we have two other expressions that are very common. Then we have here, the present perfect is used in many negative statements with the adverbs never, still, already, and yet. And when stating the number of times an action has been repeated. For example, I haven't used my microwave oven for a long time. Okay, so here we have some expressions for a long time. I've never cooked any meat in my microwave oven. Then here we have the expression never. It's very common too. Jean's microwave has already had problems, but he hasn't done anything about it yet. So here we have already and yet. I've used my microwave oven 5 times since I bought it. Okay, so here we have when we are saying the number of times, we also use the present perfect. Sometimes the present perfect focuses on the completion of an action, while the present perfect continuous emphasizes that an activity is still going on. For example, Elena has installed a smoke detector in her apartment. This is a completed action. Remember that when we talk about a completed action, we need to have a result, an obvious result in the present. For example, in this situation, the detector, the smoke detector is installed. Okay, so this is the result. Then we have the landlord has been installing smoke detectors in all apartments. Activity is still going on. With stative or non-action verbs like for example, such as like, be, and know, the present perfect is generally used. But we can't use the present perfect continuous. Recuerden que para los stative verbs, que son verbos que se refieren a sentidos o pensamientos o sentimientos, generalmente no utilizamos los tiempos continuos para estos verbos. ¿Ok? Entonces sí podemos utilizar el presente perfecto simple, pero no el presente perfecto continuo. Okay? Scientists have known about genetic coding in DNA since the early 1950s. Okay? Por ejemplo, no podríamos decir have been knowing. Okay? Porque no utilizamos verbos, stated verbs o verbos estáticos para los tiempos continuos. Okay? I want you to tell me if you have questions about this, anything to clarify about these two things.
Teacher, could you give an example of the last form, but with like?
Yeah, okay. I'm going to write an example here. For example, I've liked the movie. Okay. I've been liking the movie. For example, we can't use the stated verbs in continuous tenses. I've been liking the movie. No podríamos decir ni en el presente continuo, ni en el pasado continuo, futuro continuo o cualquier tiempo continuo. Los stated verbs no se utilizan para los tiempos continuos. ¿Ok? Pero sí lo podemos utilizar para el presente perfecto. Me ha gustado la película. ¿Ok? Any other questions?
And teacher, what about love?
Love?
Has the same problems? Love.
Yes. Love, yes. We have some stated verbs. I'm going to give you a list. Que ya avanzamos esto. No sé si queda con ustedes. Creo que en el avanzado 3 o 2, creo que se avanzan los stated verbs, que son los verbos que no pueden utilizar en los tiempos continuos. Ahora se los muestro, ¿ok? Aquí está. Déjenme mostrarles. Ok. Stative or state verbs, okay? Like, love, want, need, prefer, Generalmente todos estos verbos son los que no podemos utilizar con los tiempos continuos. Okay.
Teacher, it's not possible say believing, or believing, because believe.
Yes, we can say I am believing, pero generalmente no se utiliza, se dice I believe, ¿cierto? I am believing, casi no, sería una traducción del español al inglés. Okay.
Teacher,
Yes.
and what about think? You
Think.
can say, I've been thinking about your proposal.
Yes, hay algunos que sí se pueden utilizar, pero algunos que no. Como por ejemplo los de sentido, los de sentido, los de pensamiento, los de sentimientos. Esos son los que no se pueden utilizar. ¿Ok? Sí hay algunas excepciones, como thinking, I am thinking about it. ¿Ok? Sí podríamos utilizarlo, pero hay otros que no. ¿Ok? No encuentro la lista. Hay otra lista que está más detallada, pero luego se las voy a enviar, ¿ok? Cuando la encuentre, para que ustedes tengan, porque ahí los divide por sentidos, verbos de pensamiento, verbos de sentimientos. Entonces esas se las voy a enviar luego, ¿ok? Okay. Any other questions about this? Okay, let's see. Let's practice with these exercises. It says, complete these sentences with the present perfect or present perfect continuous. More than one answer may be possible. For example, number 1, NASA has built several successful space stations since the early 1970s. And here you have the verb that you need to use in parentheses, okay? So try to do it, then we are going to check, and I want you to tell me why. Why did you choose to use the present perfect or present perfect continuous in these sentences, okay? The first one, number 2, sorry. Melissa, can you read sentence number 2?
Yes, American astronauts have spent a total of more than
Okay.
P.
Spent. Okay, have spent. Why did you choose this one?
because it's a complete action.
Okay,
A
yes.
completed action.
What about number 2? Please, Edinson.
Number 3, right?
3.
Okay. Number 3, records show that Russian pilots I wrote have been exceeding this figure.
What do you think, guys? Do you agree with your partner? Do you have the same answer here? Guys? Franz, what do you have in number 3?
I have has exceed.
Has?
Yes.
Why? Why has?
Because
What is your subject here, Franz?
Russian pilots.
Yes. So why did you use has? If we have pilots, they, right?
Ah,
Had,
Again, please.
had exit. Had. I wrote had.
Had. El past perfect. Si no estamos avanzando el past perfect.
Teacher is have exceeded. I'm sorry.
Exceeded, right? Have exceeded. Okay, let's see here. Have exceeded. Why? Why do you think that? Why do you think this could be the answer? Have exceeded. Any ideas? Why can you use here the present perfect and not the present perfect continuous? What do you think?
Because it's a sentence uh, which start to the past and not mention the uh, if is continue up in the present.
Okay, as you can see here, we have the result in the present. Records show now that Russian pilots have succeeded this figure. Okay, so we have a present result. Okay, number 4, scientists. What did you write here? In scientists
Have known.
have known. Scientists have known for many years that human bodies, like a space station, break down quickly in space. Okay, very good. Number 5, recently scientists
Have been examining.
have been
Examining.
examining. Yes, very good. Have been examining the effects of microgravity on living cells. Okay. Number 5, they, what can we say here? They
Have discovered.
have discovered that the lack of gravity can cause muscle, heart, and bone problems. Yes, have discovered have discovered. Okay. What about number 7?
Have been working.
Okay. Lately, researchers, again, continuous or perfect, simple? What did you choose here? Present perfect simple or present perfect continuous?
Present perfect, teacher. Continue.
Why simple or why continuous? What do you think?
Have been working on.
Why? Why do you think it's
Because
have been
it's
working?
an activity that continues into the present.
Yes, very good. Have been working, right? Been working on techniques that could minimize the risk of space travel. Number 8, however, they still everything there is to know about the effects of wildness on the body. What do you write here? Let's go with Daniela Duran. What is your answer in number 8?
With present perfect, haven't learned.
Haven't learned, right?
Yes.
Very good. However, they still haven't learned everything there is to know about the effects of wirelessness on the body. Okay, very good. We are going to continue practicing this, the present perfect simple and present perfect continuous. I'm going to send you a link to the WhatsApp group so you can do these exercises, okay?
Teacher, I have a question.
Yes.
In the number